This is Shy,
And this is Megan,
and this is the Magical Happy Hour.
a podcast where we share a love for Disney, theme parks, travel tips, food.
And anything else we feel like talking about.
It's episode 34, and we're excited to talk about nighttime shows, fireworks.
Yeah, fireworks and the history of them, where you can watch them, and where we've watched them. So I think you guys will enjoy.
But like always, we'll start with some news.
Yeah, so the Grand Californian Hotel has temporarily closed their entrance into California Adventure Park. So definitely something good to know if you're staying there anytime soon. Sounds like they are going to be opening again sometime in May, but there's not a specific date yet. And in the meantime, you are welcome to use Pixar Pier Hotel's entrance into California Adventure, which is also really nice. Arguably, puts you in an even better spot because you get to enter, they call it Paradise Gardens, but it's really like right next, it's in between the Corn Dog Castle and the little store that they have with the outdoor like kiosks or whatever, which is pretty cool.
Oh, I always thought it was farther back, but I've never seen somebody using that entrance and I've never used it. I've seen it from the backside for sure, but
Mhm.
I don't know. I guess I've never thought to look.
Yeah, if you are there and you just were to keep walking back, you would see it. And there's a cast member like standing there because they are more strict about the
Hmm.
hotel, like Pixar hotel guests only are allowed to use that versus the Grand Californian, anyone can use that entrance, like if you're walking through downtown Disney or something.
That makes sense because it's supposed to be a hotel entrance, not another gate.
Right. It was also announced that the Fantastic Four is coming to Tomorrowland, and I guess I don't know that much about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but I guess they aren't like in the same world or realm as the Avengers, so
Hmm,
that's why they're not in Avengers Campus and they're in Tomorrowland instead.
that's interesting. I mean, they're in. So I've never seen any of the Fantastic Four movies, but I literally watched Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness last night, and they have like a little thing about or with including the Fantastic Four in it.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, they have John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic. I'm saying everything with a question mark at the end because I know so little. Um, but interesting. I mean, it makes sense if that's how it works in the world. I appreciate that difference, I guess, then that they wouldn't just smush them together because it's technically Marvel. I don't know. That's interesting. Do you know where in Tomorrowland?
I don't. If
Well,
I had to
well,
guess, I would say like I'm having a brain fart on the name of the dining location right now, but like where that stage
Galactic
is,
Grill?
yeah, across from Galactic Grill, I'm guessing maybe that area would be a good area to meet characters. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I was like, are they going in the what's the old circle theater called? We're both just gonna go back and forth and have to.
Innovations is how I know it, but I don't know if that building has a specific name.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, you all know where we're talking about, where they now have Tomorrowland viewing of the fireworks.
Yeah, the Tomorrowland Terrace, which we'll talk about.
Yeah, I was gonna say, speaking of, soon to come.
And then they have like a DVC lounge there as well.
Oh, oh. I don't know. Okay. I guess I thought those two things were the same thing. I don't know. I'll learn more from you when we talk about fireworks. Um, but I mean, they used to use that for the Star Wars thing that they had there and had a bunch of meet and greets in there. So I was like, oh, are
Right.
they gonna do like something with that? Maybe, but maybe that's wishful thinking and it's just gonna be a meet and greet at that stage, like you said. I guess we'll have to wait and find out. I'm kind of
We'll find
excited.
out, yeah.
Yeah. I'm kind of excited for the Fantastic Four movie. I don't know, but big Pedro Pascal fan, which is definitely the motivation.
I was gonna say, why are you so excited, Megan?
Yeah, mostly Pedro
We
Pascal.
know why.
Yeah, yeah, if you know me, you know why. But yeah, I don't know. We shall see. I feel like it's been talked about in a positive way, so that's more hopeful than most Marvel movies.
I remember watching those movies like in middle school, I want to
Mhm.
say, and with Leah, and I remember enjoying them. Like I think I've seen them a couple of times. I don't remember much about them now, but I'm looking if there, yeah, if there's another one, I'm looking forward to seeing it for sure.
Yeah, and now that you mention it, it does make sense that they would be in, like, different universes or dimension or, whatever it is, because Chris Evans is in the original in the first modern Fantastic Four movie,
Hmm.
so he can't be both people, right?
True.
Yeah, it's a thought. We're not Marvel experts, but we're learning every day,
A little every day.
a
Yeah.
little every day. And that starts July 25th?
Yes, it. I don't know if that's the exact date, but that's when it's gonna start around there.
Okay. So maybe we'll have a little future update about that as well as we
Hmm.
near a
Yeah.
little bit closer to the summertime. I know last episode we mentioned that Miguel and Dante were being added to Small World, and we're like, when is it reopening? I don't remember. Um, April 25th. We'll get to
Yay!
see them unveiled and enjoy Small World again.
Exciting.
Yes. If you need a classic and accessible ride, Small World's a good one.
It is. So now to get into the bulk of our episode, we're gonna start with a little bit of history on the fireworks at Disneyland.
I'm very much looking forward to hearing about this history. I think something we both noticed is that Disney kind of was pretty consistent for a big period of its history, and then things got really exciting and kind of always changing and happening. So I'm looking forward to hearing about all the shows that have come and gone over the years.
Yeah. So, believe it or not, fireworks did not start with the opening of Disneyland, although it seems like fireworks and Disneyland are just kind of something we hold hand in hand. But it actually didn't start until about 1957. Walt was looking for a way to keep guests entertained in the park for longer and felt like they needed some nighttime entertainment. So the first show that we got was Fantasy in the Sky. The dates are a little bit unclear, but it started in 1957 or 58 through 1999.
That's
This
a long
show,
run.
yeah, it had a really long run. It had music, but there was like no narration.
Yeah, it would make sense that they just started with the music. That's I would argue, the most powerful part of the show.
It is a really powerful part of the show, and it's honestly kind of crazy how they used to do it. Cast members had to manually launch hand flares.
Wait, for the fireworks?
Yes.
Oh my god. I mean, I don't know how else you would do it, so that makes sense, but geez Louise.
There
They're like, "Here's a bomb."
basically there was a large speaker, and so they would be listening to the music and like trying to keep up with the fireworks on the right cue.
Oh my gosh. It's like a synchronized dance, but with fireworks.
That's exactly what it
But
was.
manually, though.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Wild. Could you imagine that's on your resume?
I'm sure they had a name, like,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
what
I'm
they did,
sure.
but, now, of course, this is all done by computer, so
Mhm.
it's very different. This show lasted less than 5 minutes,
Makes sense.
and it has played again a handful of times, including in the early 2000s and in 2015, and they also have an edition of this show that they play on New Year's Eve.
Oh, that's okay, that's cool. I'm I have to ask, I'm sure I know the answer, but just in case, when they say that they're gonna do the show again, they don't mean still with the hand
No,
fireworks, right?
no.
I was like, I'm sure that got updated definitely along the way, but
Yes.
I'm just like, what if they're really going for some authenticity?
That would be insane and probably really dangerous because
Yeah,
people probably aren't trained as well to work with hand flares like they
no
used
one,
to because why would they need to if, like, computers are running everything? So that would just be I mean,
yeah,
I'm
no
sure
one's
there's
been
plenty
trained.
of people that know how to do it.
Sure.
However,
Hobbyists, some hand
yeah,
firework hobbyists.
yes.
Sorry, I'll let you continue.
I just wanted to talk about the soundtrack a little bit.
Oh, yeah, please.
So, from 1958 to 1966, their soundtrack was just 5 songs. We have Hi Ho.
Okay.
Then we have the Mickey Mouse March from the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse,
Mhm.
or the Mickey Mouse Club, sorry. We have Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo.
Classic.
We have Whistle While You Work.
Alright. More dwarves?
And then the
Or no?
world's first fireworks soundtrack, You Can Fly, You Can Fly, You Can Fly.
Perfect.
So cute.
And tell me the years again?
This was from 1958 to 1966.
Okay. Alright. So I'd imagine, we're seeing Tinker Bell flying during the You Can Fly.
Yeah, do you want to tell us a little bit about her?
Yes. Okay. I have a good chunk of some of these Tinkerbell performers' histories. So I'll start from the beginning, because she's iconic, man. There's nothing like Tinkerbell, seeing Tinkerbell fly like that. But she was first debuted in 1958, not as a part of the fireworks show at Disneyland, but actually part of a performance at the Hollywood Bowl. This was Tiny Klein. She was the first Tinkerbell performer. She began her career as a dancer, then became a circus performer. Then it wasn't until later in life she became like the iconic character. She was very petite, just 4'10", and she was once arrested for zipping across Times Square by her teeth.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
She's doing what with her teeth?
So, like, essentially what Tinkerbell is doing, except in Times Square and hanging by her teeth. Yeah. Like, this woman was a performer.
That's a strong jaw.
Yeah. I don't they called it something very specific, and I didn't write it down, so I don't remember. But, the stunt was to promote a show that she was a part of. So, I would probably go see that show. Like, this is the most impressive woman I've ever seen in my life. And, honestly, I feel like her story gets more impressive because in 1961, this is when she was debuted at Disneyland. They had to wait until the Matterhorn was constructed so that she could have a starting point for her flight. At this point, her uniform was just like a small sequin dress, and she had like some detachable wings. Also, she was 70 years old.
What?
She was 70 years old doing this. So she's like climbing,
How?
she's not like scaling the Matterhorn, but climbing flights of stairs to get up to the starting point of her flight at 70 years old. And then she would zip at a casual 30 miles an hour
Oh,
from the top of the Matterhorn to an endpoint that was just beyond the castle, where she could be caught by two men holding a big old mattress. So just like plummeting into a 70-year-old woman dangling above Disneyland and then plummeting into a mattress dressed as Tinkerbell, being Tinkerbell, truly
bless
embodying
bless
Tinkerbell.
her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bless her sweet soul.
She was a grandmother doing this, like
Yeah.
yeah. She did the job for 3 years. Truly what a champ. 3 years of, again, being 70 plus years old on a zip line, dressed as Tinkerbell, going 30 miles an hour and crashing into a mattress.
That's faster than you go on Space Mountain, might I add.
Yeah, I was trying to think, I was trying to put myself like in 30 miles an hour outside. I mean, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
was trying to picture it, feel it for myself and it was unsuccessful, but I'm like, that's fast. It's too fast for me on from a string. I'm okay, you know?
yeah,
And
yeah.
of course it was more than a string. Like she was clearly safe, and the Tinkerbells to come after her as well. But unfortunately, she did sadly pass away less than a year after her final performance.
Oh,
Yeah. So RIP Queen. You killed it. What an icon. Like icon portraying an icon. We love this.
literally.
So it was said around this time that the ideal Tinkerbell performers would be around 105 pounds and anywhere from like 4'10" to 5'2".
Okay,
So not me. But yeah. So next came Mimi Zerbini for Summer, which super cute name.
love it. Mimi.
Zerbini. Um, so just for Summer before longtime performer Judy Kay took over and was a part of the cast for 8 years. She ended up ending her tenure as Tinkerbell in 1983, but she did continue to be a part of the Disney company as a talent agent.
That's fun.
Yeah. I think she started it was like specialized in like circus performers.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
She
but
she
like
she would know.
that's what I was thinking. I was like, yeah, she
Great
probably
person
had
to be casting.
totally like had a career before being Tinkerbell and then was Tinkerbell. Then why not continue? You know the ins and outs. And then I'm gonna hold on to this next performer until we hear a little bit more about fireworks.
Okay. All right. So the second show that came to Disneyland was Believe There's Magic in the Stars. And this ran from the year 2000 till 2004. It premiered for Disneyland's 45th anniversary and launched the modern era of fireworks shows for Disney parks.
Will you tell me the name of that show again?
This was Believe dot 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 there's magic in the stars.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah, I mean, that feels like do you remember seeing this as a kid? Like, do you think you would have seen it?
I think the time that I was in the park was probably closer to it would have been around this time. Um I don't know if I would have seen it or not.
Mhm.
My dad is not a big one on crowds, so I feel
Oh.
like he would have probably been one of those let's leave before the fireworks.
Yeah, let's leave before the crowd.
Yeah.
Sure, that makes sense. Well, I feel like that is a good one to mention before. Glad I held on to this Tinkerbell because you mentioned that it marked such a big change
Yeah.
in the nighttime shows. This next Tinkerbell was the longest to hold the position. Her name is Gina Rock, and she performed as Tinkerbell from 1983 to 2005.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I was thinking, I was like, I guess if you're like a millennial who grew up going to the parks, like this is probably the Tinkerbell you have memories of.
Yeah. Most
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was kind of, I don't know, just like 2005 is like a pretty significant year in my life just for personal reasons. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, like, I don't know. That felt, I remember seeing Tinkerbell before that age, however old I was, 11. Um, and that just felt I was like, "Oh, I was seeing Gina rock." Like, "Thanks, girl, for doing that."
So cool.
She does have a website called flyingtinkerbell.org, where there's, like, a huge archive of photos. There's some interviews that she was a part of, just, like, an abundance of information about Tinkerbell and what it was like being her. It was also listed on there that she's available for interviews, and I was like, "Maybe we should maybe that's an idea for the future."
That would be so fun.
Right? I thought it would be pretty cool.
Would love that.
At this time, though, they really upgraded the costume. It became like of course, a dress and wings, but they started covering it in all these small mirrors. And like as they continued to upgrade the outfit, they like continued to do it in that manner. So they were just like adding more mirrors to the costume. So
Mirrors?
mirrors, yeah, because they wanted it to like reflect the light.
Oh.
hmm So like at first it looks like she's like kind of in like a polka dotted dress, and then it like just slowly becomes more and more of like a disco ball. And there's even like a point where she has a mirror on her wig.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which it's like it's not noticeable from far away. I mean, Tinkerbell's pretty far away from you when you're at
Oh, yeah,
Disney,
for sure.
at Disneyland at least. So, I mean, I would imagine you're just seeing the light reflecting off of it. But I thought that that was pretty funny seeing the unlighted, the unflying photos. It looks really interesting from a costume design standpoint, but it
Yeah,
sounds like it was pretty innovative.
that's cool.
Yeah. This is also when they started using equipment similar to like what you see on like a football game, how they record, those kind of like cameras that are on like the wires that you see
Sure. Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
really move around the field.
Uh-huh.
Um, that's what they use for these characters.
Okay.
Yeah, so before it was like a legit zip line, but now there's much more like control and coordination for where they are, and they have like more fluidity throughout the performance.
Gotcha.
So now she can fly like a fairy that you would expect, you know.
Yeah.
This also changed her visibility. So, like, other adjustments to her costume had to be made, which included the addition of a head covering, similar to like what you see for like a mascot character.
Okay.
Yeah, whereas before it was just like full person body. They're kind of like adding things so she's like larger and more had more defined features. And then just to like kind of flash over to Disney World to not neglect them completely, they got Tinkerbell in 1985. And I thought that this was again a little bit crazy. Like these performers are stunt people for sure. Like I can't imagine how much athleticism they must have, because this Tinkerbell, they have to climb to the top of like the highest tower in the castle and then zip line over to the roofs of Tomorrowland and then like also crash into something. But I think theirs is more of like a net. But like this costume, it's covered in like pretty bulky lights, and it's like also had several iterations. But they're much more visible, even like considering the height, just with just how or where you can watch the fireworks from in Disney World. So sometimes she's like going right over your head and you can like see the whole person. So they don't have a mascot head. Okay. So we left off though with fireworks in 2003?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So then what came?
So this next show only ran for a year because
hmm
they had big plans for the 50th, which was going to be in 2005. So this was called Imagine Fantasy in the Sky. I'm
Cute.
not sure why they didn't just continue with Believe, but
hmm
like why put on all of the like why go through the change for just 1 year, but that's how they did it. Um
Choices were made.
Choices were made, indeed. They had a version that took place on the rivers of America while Sleeping Beauty Castle was under construction.
Oh,
Disney also came up with an air launch system that they patented, which eliminated the need to use any black powder, which greatly reduced pollution,
that's good to know.
which is a good thing.
I've always wondered about that with fireworks.
Yeah, so at least I don't know how they're able to do it, but
Sounds like they're taking necessary measures to be mindful about air pollution.
yeah.
We love to see it.
In 2005, they launched a show for the 50th anniversary, and this lasted from 2005 through 2009. This was
Wow.
called Remember Dreams Come True.
And I will.
This was narrated by our beloved Julie Andrews. It celebrated not just the park, but Walt Disney himself, something that I really love. This was one of only two shows that paid tribute to theme park attractions of past and present, including Haunted Mansion, Star Tours, and Pirates of the Caribbean.
I love that.
During this time, units were installed that allowed projections onto Sleeping Beauty Castle and the Matterhorn, as well as pyro effects around the hub and the castle. This has been the longest show in history, lasting about 17 minutes long, and they last showed it for 1 year in 2019.
Okay, I was gonna say, I'm like, do I remember this as a kid or did they bring it back at some point? And honestly, it could be both, but I don't I feel like my Disney memories as a kid are not as vivid, whereas in 2019 I was a pass holder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you've
Okay.
definitely seen this show.
Yes. I'm like, I can hear Julie Andrews' voice right now. I would love this show.
Yeah, this is a really good one. It's like a crowd favorite for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, a lengthy show for sure. 17 minutes?
Yes.
Yeah. Huh. Love it. Love every second.
So the fifth fireworks show was called Magical. This aired from 2009 to 2014, and it was billed as a tribute to Disney magic makers such as the Blue Fairy, Mary Poppins, and the Fairy Godmother. It was hard to follow, remember, because it was such a popular show.
Mhm.
Um, Guests were disappointed in the fact that Magical didn't have the new technological advancements as before, such as like the pyro effects that were used on Sleeping Beauty Castle and such.
Oh, people thought it was boring.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a bummer.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really make sense. I mean, maybe financially to downgrade, but um yeah, it's kind of like this. There was, if you were going to do this, then there wasn't going to be anything that people were definitely not going to like it more than
Sure.
Remember Dreams Come True. So,
Yeah, sometimes you just have to you just gotta roll with it.
yeah.
Also a part of this fireworks show, though, they did debut Dumbo as a new flying character. Disney was excited to make creative use out of Tinkerbell's new flying system. So they pretty much just gave the performer a new costume. So it was still Tinkerbell, but not Tinkerbell. Tinkerbell was inside of Dumbo. I'm
Was it
kidding.
the last Tinkerbell that becomes Dumbo, or is it someone else?
No, it was somebody else by this time. I didn't see it was probably, several different performers at this point, because they're, with that new system, it's much easier for just them to rotate. They were probably doing shows more often, just knowing Disney in modern times.
Sure.
Like, there's no days off anymore. But yeah, like I said, Dumbo was essentially like a puppet. Um, they had like different mechanisms inside to manipulate the actions that the audience sees.
That's so cute.
Yeah. Um, Also in 2009, we saw Hollywood Screams fireworks, and with this came Zero.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I mean, if you've seen Zero in the sky, Zero looks perfect. Like, dude, if you what you think a ghost dog should look like, I mean, that's what you see in the sky. Um, and something really cool about him is that he was the first, I say he, like he's a person, um, but um, he was the first autonomous object to be featured to fly in a show.
Oh,
Yeah, so no performer this time. It's just Zero up there. There's no really any like mechanisms that he does. He's pretty much like essentially a sheet over the insides of the machine that makes him move.
yeah.
And he's got like a cute little face on him with his light up nose. And I mean, that like white sheet really picks up like the black light and looks really cool, like in contrast to the rest of the show. Like, he looks popping up there, like so illuminated. And it's the same one that he uses that is used today.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so he's holding out strong. I saw him a couple years ago. He's cute up there. He's doing a good job.
I
He's
love
almost 20 years
Zero.
old.
I love Zero so much. He is one of my favorite characters. He's so cute.
Super cute.
The sixth show that premiered for Disney's 60th anniversary was Disneyland Forever. This is definitely the show that I have most in my head. This was from 2015 to 2017. This added projection mapping throughout Main Street and the hub, and it was the first to use holiday snow in a summer spectacular, which is fun.
Very fun.
Um,
Dude, I still remember the first time, like watching this for the first time, so I'm a little giddy.
really?
Yes, yeah, I have like old Snapchat videos.
From this show? Yeah.
Yeah,
This is the fireworks show that have the most memories of because this is like when I don't know, really started paying attention to those kind of things in the
yeah.
parks. I don't think that before, and then I recognized that like there were different fireworks shows. Like I thought it was just like the firework. You know what I mean? The
No, I
fireworks.
feel the same way because I didn't go enough to even realize.
Yeah, same. It was the first ever original song for a fireworks show called Live the Magic, and it returned once during 2022.
Yes, and I remember seeing it then too.
Yeah, yeah, I remember that too. Disneyland Forever, yeah. It's a really good show.
Did you say it ran from 2015 to 2019 and then came back?
2015 to 2017, and then
Okay.
returned once in 2022.
So really fun part of that show is Nemo.
Nemo!
Yes, which is another puppet. So there's a performer in Nemo, but he looks so good. He's like wiggling, like his little swims up there. It really looks like he's getting ready to like dive through that like ring of fire, like in the movie, how they have like that bubbler that they start like chanting to. Um, and that's what they like turn the Matterhorn into that mid-show. And so he's like going over to it. I don't know. I love this. I think it's probably my favorite.
Nemo is so cute. The seventh show in 2018 only premiered for a year. It was Together Forever, and it was the first show to present exclusively Pixar characters for that summer's Pixar Fest.
Yeah, it was called Together Forever.
Yes,
Okay, I believe you. I wrote down Pixar Forever, but Together Forever sounds like a better name.
I'm pretty sure.
No, I trust you way more than me. Yeah, so with an all Pixar show, we get all Pixar characters for the first time. We get Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's a performer, so a puppet, and really looks like the real guy. He's able to move and show off just like any other performer that you'd meet or any other Buzz that you'd meet. So he's
Cool.
he's looking good. What does trip me out a little bit about this character is that like how long the attachments to him are. Like I feel like he's really like dangling where other characters aren't doing that.
Mm,
But I would imagine it's to keep him upright so
hmm.
he's not like soaring
Ouch.
just yeah, or like parallel to the ground.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because I would imagine that would look much more funky. It might be less safe for him to move around so much.
Yeah. Makes
So it
sense.
makes sense. I do think it looks a little funky, but who cares what I
You
think?
can't really tell from far away.
That's true. That's true. I was looking at close-up pictures. But we also got the Up House. So during the same show, just an additional guy. But this was the second autonomous object to be flown during a show. And this guy, he's just a giant balloon, or like looks like a balloon, like covered in a bunch of like little balloons to create the effect that of like that giant cluster that we know of. And I don't know, I think it looks good. I thought it was. I remember seeing it and being like your heart. you feel like the music in you and takes you back to that movie. I don't know. Is that just me?
No, I love them.
It's getting very like sentimental. I don't know, some of these just really taking me back to those moments of seeing it for the first time.
I love seeing Buzz. I think that
Really?
was so cool. Yeah.
Oh, that's sweet. I don't see, and I don't remember Buzz.
Oh, I vividly remember seeing
That's cool.
Buzz and thinking it was so cool. Yeah.
So was I right about him like moving so cool, like a cool guy?
I feel like it was like hard to see him from where I was standing because I remember like the only way that I could see him was like holding my phone up at a certain angle and like because I was trying to get him on camera and so just like I couldn't really see him unless I was like looking at him through my phone. So
Um,
I like couldn't see any movements or anything like that. I could literally just see that it was Buzz Lightyear like flying through the sky, but I think I was
gotcha.
like so far back on Main Street that it was hard to see like any movement or anything like that.
Yeah, that's a good point because I mean you have to be in the right position to see these characters.
This next show is Mickey's Mix Magic, and it's also the show that we've seen most recently. This played from 2019 to 2022 and then played again in 2024 and 2025. It debuted for Mickey's 90th birthday and used the aesthetics of the new Mickey shorts. It really focused a lot more on projections this time and it had EDM style music. And then with the transition to fireworks playing on weekends only for the most part, except for like during the busiest times of the year, this show's projections were shown during the week, along with lasers and, of course, more Snope. And like I said earlier, this is the current show that you can see at Disney.
I honestly really like just listening to the music and seeing the projections. They do a good job of still just making that fun. Like I've watched them from Small World and the front of the Rivers of America. It's a good time still. Will you remind me the name of the show?
This is Mickey's Mix Magic.
Okay.
This is not my favorite fireworks show. Um, it doesn't it's fun, like, and I think that even if you've never seen it, I feel like with me saying, like, EDM style music, it gives you enough of a vibe to get, like, the kind of vibe that the show is, and it is fun, but it doesn't make me really feel anything. I'm not gonna cry. I It's
Yeah.
not it's cute and it's fun, but it's not tugging at my heartstrings the way that other shows have in the past, so, um I'm looking forward to having a new show.
Yeah, I agree. It's Yeah, I think that's why I'm like, the projections are fine because I'm just like walking by or enjoying it for a couple minutes and moving on. It's funny that you say that it doesn't pull at your heartstrings. I mean, I think that that is a fact. But my cousin, when we were there just recently, she was like, "When are they going to bring back a show where I can cry?" She's like, "I can't cry to this."
So she
So
gets me.
yeah, dude. Yeah, that's something that she expresses when we talk about doing Disney trips. She's like, "Oh, so we can go cry on Main Street together?" I'm like, yeah, it's part of the experience.
The ninth show, which just played in 2023, this was Wondrous Journeys, and it is a 13-minute show that gives us glimpses from every Disney animated feature as a tribute to Disney animation.
With this show, we got some very fun and special characters. I feel like the show is just special. I was watching it earlier and crying. Speaking of crying, I didn't mean to. I didn't know that that was going to happen. But dude, just at the beginning, we have the Blue Fairy, and it just really got me. And the music in this is very good. It made me feel more than I was planning on feeling in that moment. But also, there's Baymax, which is again, he's another autonomous object, and he really zips through the sky. His body doesn't move much, anyways. Like Baymax doesn't, so it makes sense that he would be unmanned. But I mean, if you haven't seen the show, like highly recommend just honestly any of these shows. If you haven't seen them, I would imagine most of them have a pretty good YouTube version that you could watch if you're curious about anything that we're referencing.
Yeah. So lastly, I just have some honorable mentions. I don't have too much information on them, but the holiday shows include Fantasy in the Sky, the New Year's Eve edition. We get Celebrate America, a 4th of July concert in the sky. We get Believe in Holiday Magic, and we get Halloween Screams.
I haven't seen all of these. I've seen a few of them, but I'd imagine the 4th of July one must be cool.
I know. I've never been to Disneyland on the 4th of July. Seems like it would be crazy, but I bet
Yeah,
the
it's
fireworks show is
busy.
really cool.
I bet it is. I feel like I've seen pictures maybe, but that's not the same. Halloween is very fun, but we're just Halloween girlies.
Yes, so we might be a little biased.
A little biased. I have a couple honorable mentions for characters that we saw fly through the sky, but were not a part of fireworks shows. So first, in 1965, we had Baby New Year.
What?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there's no like photographic or video evidence of this. Not that anyone has seen, at least, and reported on, but Paul Castle was the performer. He was actually Walt's preferred Mickey.
Huh.
And so this was kind of like a stunt, I guess they planned. But I don't know how much of it was his choice. I think it was maybe like I don't know. Honestly, it
Was he a
sounded like
child?
no, he was a grown man. But he was playing like essentially Baby New Year. So he was wearing like a skin colored leotard and like a was like holding or wearing a top hat. And he just kind of like flung off the Matterhorn as if he were Tinkerbell. And yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. It sounded like maybe a liquor fueled decision. Sounded like Walt wanted to have a little bit of fun with his friend, with his employee. I don't know.
What?
Yeah, I don't know, but I mean, he has like spoke to like journalists or there's been articles written about this thing that happened and from Paul Castle himself and maybe Tony Baxter might have some proof that he's just keeping to himself. But I guess there was like he has been like I guess he mentioned it in some sort of interview before and that it's like something that he brings out at parties. Yeah. So that's really funny. Um so who knows? There's no proof of this, but people say it did happen. This next one, however, you can definitely find evidence of, and that's Indiana Jones.
Oh,
So, yeah, full performer, Indiana Jones ziplined from the Matterhorn. He was escaping some bad guys. He was being chased. So he had
okay.
to, climb up the Matterhorn and zip line on down and, very Indiana Jones fashion, like all wild. Um, and this it was reported or I saw that this happened on July 17th in 1995. And it happened during the daytime. Like, I think that this is the only account of them using this mechanic during the daytime. I don't know. It's pretty interesting. I would really like to see maybe something like that utilized. I don't know how you would do it. It might be too visible during the
Yeah, I
daytime.
feel like maybe it would be, but especially
Yeah.
for trying to carry whole person and not just like a puppet.
Like one of the like autonomous objects.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I thought that was pretty cool. Sounded like it just happened that one day, so it wasn't like an ongoing thing, but probably to promote something. Maybe that was when the ride opened. I guess I could have looked at more detail, but I was just like, all right, sure. Sounds
Yeah,
good.
maybe it was then. That would
Hmm.
make sense. But I thought the ride opened in the 70s.
March 4th, 1995.
Is when the ride opened?
Yeah.
Mm,
So not even when the ride opened, just kind of around when the ride opened.
wow.
So many opportunities, so many, I'd love to see more. What else we got? Who else we want to throw up there?
Can we throw Captain Jack Sparrow? I feel like that'd be cool.
That would be that could be cool, kind of like
Like
what they
like doing his like crazy like run, but in the
Yeah!
sky.
Oh my gosh. Dude, that would be so funny. Like an April what if they did that as like an April Fool's Day joke?
That would be crazy.
That
That'd
would
be
be
really
so
cool.
funny. Or just Baby New Year again, but on April Fool's Day.
That is weird. I can't believe they did that.
No, it's
What the
weird,
heck?
but the '60s were kind of a weird time, so
True.
yeah, it kinda suits, kind of fits. So since we were talking about fireworks, we thought it would be fun to also talk a little bit about drones and like the different shows that have been in Disney parks so far. So just a little bit of information about them, like the drones that they use itself themselves. They're very light. They're about 550 grams, which is less than like a loaf of bread.
Hmm.
They're built very simplistically to minimize that weight, allowing them to remain in the air longer. They use colored LEDs that are on the front, and they're made to change color as well as on and off simultaneously. The drone shows were developed as an impressive alternative to fireworks um, due to them being more like suiting for the community and the culture that's around Disneyland Paris.
Mm.
Yeah, so a good, like, problem solving. They didn't really have any, like, nighttime spectaculars, so this was, n well, they did have fireworks, so they do have fireworks, but just used more minimally,
Mm.
and that's just to respect, like, the surrounding community, and drones minimize sound pollution because they're silent, and they don't produce any ash.
Which is nice.
Yeah, definitely. I was lucky enough to see one of the drone shows at Disneyland Paris, which I'll get to, but I thought they were really impressive. Like I really like the show. I'm not. I know that we just finished talking so highly about the Disneyland fireworks shows, but typically I'm not a big fan of fireworks. Like the fireworks aren't my favorite part of the fireworks show. Which sounds kind of funny, but, I think, like, pyrotechnics and stuff are fun. I just, especially living where I live, we're just, like, always hearing fireworks, so I think I'm just sick of it, and I think they're overrated, but also, I did just cry during a recording of a fireworks show, so truly, who am I to pickle? But I think the drones are a really, like, cool alternative. But the first drone show was in 2016. It's called Starbright Holiday, and it was in Disney Springs. Like I said, the first drone show on Disney property, and it was held above the lake due to drones running on GPS. So there needs to be enough open space for the drones to like configure it properly and prevent GPS signals from bouncing between drones during the show, which is they use the GPS to communicate with one another so they can remain in appropriate distance, so we're not having drone crashes mid-show
Makes
or,
sense.
falling to the ground or whatever.
Sure.
Disney D Light was created as a sort of pre-show initially at Disneyland Paris's 30th anniversary fireworks show, which is in 2022. And then mid 2022, there was a suggestion that like the Disneyland Resort in California was looking into using drones, but nothing more has come up of this. And I'm really curious like why there was a suggestion of that. I honestly think that it was just a maybe somebody saw Disneyland in drones in on a paper and assumed it was California, but I mean Disneyland Paris is still called Disneyland.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's just me. That's my little speculation because of Disneyland being like they don't really have an open space to have a drone show. Like they'd have to get pretty creative with it,
Mm.
from my understanding at least. Disneyland Paris, they expanded their use of drones into their Walt Disney Studios park in 2022 also. And this was to celebrate the opening of Avengers Campus. And the show was named Avengers Power of the Night. And I'm pretty sure this is the one I saw in 2023.
Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was cool. Tokyo Disney had drone performances for its 40th anniversary in 2023 also. And then Disney Dreams That Soar was a drone show that debuted in Disney Springs on May 24th, 2024, and ran until September 2nd, 2024. And this was sponsored by AT&T and featured 800 drones, so bigger than those other shows.
Man, shout out to Orlando for having Disney Springs be so poppin'.
Yeah, right? Like, they got stuff going on here and there. We got a couple music artists, like little
We get some
trickling in little
Snow.
corners. Snope. Do they do that in downtown Disney?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, Snope and
Some live music.
mm-hmm. Two people on a guitar or whatever. Not to be a hater, but it's no drone show. But this show featured popular Disney properties like Up, Star Wars, Peter Pan, and Guardians of the Galaxy. It was 10 minutes long and it ran twice a night. So lots of opportunities to see it too.
It's fun.
And Disney Springs is just like kind of, circled around that lake almost, right?
Yeah.
So you could probably see it from like anywhere.
Anywhere. Yeah.
Disneyland Paris debuted their Electrical Sky Parade in January of 2024. This has more than 500 drones, and they're synchronized with lasers and video projections, lights, and fountains, all set against the iconic backdrop of the Sleeping Beauty castle, which definitely captured guests' attention. I mean, you if you've seen the electrical light parade, you already know that that's going to draw you in, but in the sky, that seems
I can't even
pretty
imagine
cool.
that.
Right? It was literally like illuminated floats that symbolized like the different icons of the Main Street Electrical Parade. Like they had like Mickey Mouse and they have a train, but then also Elliot from Pete's Dragon,
I love him.
right? His little noises. I love the noises in the Electrical Light Parade, which I would imagine that they probably didn't have as a part of this, but it was the fireworks show that followed it was Disney Illuminations. So they got both still. And then in July 15th of 2024, Disneyland Paris set a new Guinness World Record title for conducting the largest aerial display of fiction of a fictional character formed by multi-rotors slash drones.
Okay.
So it was a 1,571 drones that illuminated the night sky and created a giant tricolor Mickey Mouse head over Sleeping Beauty Castle.
That's wild.
Yeah. So like it was in the shades of the French flag, but
That's cool.
wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. World record. Um, yeah, but that kind of shows us the history of drones used in the parks up until this point. And like I said, fireworks can be really amazing. But I think drones are a really cool alternative. Again, they don't make noise. I know that there's a lot of talk of potential of noise pollution in Disneyland. So this may be a cool alternative to have a show in a different part of the park that we haven't seen before.
Fun. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen a couple drone shows and they can be really impressive.
I've only seen that one, but I mean, I had a good time watching it. I don't think I've had the opportunity to see them anywhere else.
Okay. So let's get into the best spots that you can watch the fireworks. So I think that when you think about watching the fireworks, a lot of people's first thought is the castle, being right in front of the castle or in that hub, which is not a bad spot to watch the fireworks. But nowadays, there's such cool projections that I would say that one of the best spots to watch the fireworks is actually like right towards the middle of Main Street. You have projections to the left and right of you, and you have the fireworks right in front of you. So if you can get right in the middle of Main Street, I think that is like your best bet to be able to see a little bit of everything.
I super agree. I think dead center Main Street, maybe a little bit closer to the front, but still like within the like corridor.
Right.
Very cool. Would recommend.
Yeah. And then you can also catch the fireworks. Oh, and to watch them on Main Street or right in front of the castle, I would recommend getting, if you want really good, like you want to be able to pick exactly where you're standing or sitting, I would recommend getting there an hour to 2 hours before the show starts. You want a good spot. You can also see the show pretty well at the Rivers of America. You will get water projections and fireworks, which is pretty cool. Um, it's not like the best view of fireworks because there's lots of trees, but it's still
Mhm.
a great place to see them. And for that, I feel like maybe getting there like 30 minutes before the show, you'll be able to find a good spot.
Yeah, you can kind of see them from a wide area.
Yeah. The next spot I wanted to mention is over at Small World. The projections on the Small World facade itself look really nice, and you can see some fireworks from there as well. And I would get there probably like 30 minutes to an hour before the show starts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you want it to be able to sit or fine. I feel like
Mm,
an hour would probably be more than enough, but I wouldn't get there any later than like 30 minutes.
yeah, is if you're trying to sit somewhere,
Mhm.
yeah. Yeah, I could see that.
You can also watch the fireworks from Galaxy's Edge. I've never seen them there, but I've heard that they have like their own like musical theme or music that's going on or something over in Galaxy's Edge. Have you seen them there?
I haven't seen them there, but yeah, I think it's like almost like they have a different show happening to stay and maybe not all the time, but it's almost like they have it as 2 different fireworks shows, like, running concurrently, but I don't think that they have, like, projections, but and so I think it's just a music change because you are seeing literally the same fireworks.
It's just a change in music.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
from my understanding, I could be wrong or misspeaking, to a certain degree because I haven't seen it.
That was my understanding as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Have heard good things, though.
So I would say those are all of the best spots that you can watch for free. What would you are there is there anywhere else that I'm missing that you like to watch fireworks or that you
I
know
like
of?
to watch I mean, I like to watch fireworks from Thunder Mountain.
Ah, like on the attraction?
Like, on the attraction.
Oh
I'm like,
yeah.
that's what I try to go for.
Yeah, that is a great point. If you can catch the fireworks like while you're on Big Thunder, I've seen them on Matterhorn before,
Yeah,
which is really
yeah,
cool.
mhm.
Um,
I just feel like Thunder Mountain, it feels like they're, like, taking you into the fireworks.
yeah.
Oh,
You're,
it's
like,
so
right
good.
there. I've heard people watching them on the Storyland boat canals,
Oh, man, I bet that's good too.
but I feel like you would really have to time that perfectly because they close Fantasyland, or at least part of Fantasyland, before the
Y
fireworks. So I don't know how someone was able to pull that off, but it sounds really cool.
yeah, I'm yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they just caught the beginning?
Mm.
Yeah.
It was, if you guys watch Provost Park Pass, he talks about an experience where they like just stopped the boats and you just got to sit on the boats and watch.
So, speaking of that, um, I experienced that on Jungle Cruise.
Oh, for the fireworks?
Yeah, we kinda got stuck on Jungle Cruise, so it wasn't on purpose to, like, try to watch the fireworks, we were stuck on Jungle Cruise, and, the skipper, like, tried to position the boat, like, just kept backing up so that we could watch the fireworks from there.
Oh, what? That's really
Yeah.
cool.
Have I never told you about this?
I don't think so. I don't remember.
Funny. Okay, yeah, we were with, one of Matt's friends and his girlfriend at the time, and normal Disney day, they're big Disney people. And yeah, we literally got stuck on Jungle Cruise. Something was going on with one of the boats or like two boats ahead of us, but we were the only people on the ride. There wasn't anybody in the boats ahead of us. There was just like an issue that one got stuck. And yeah, I got splashed by the piranhas. I was a little irritated, but I mean, it was the skipper's accident, their accident. It was an accident. They were not expecting to have to stop there. And because those things are triggered by a sensor, so they had like triggered the sensor and then like either backed up or moved forward. And so I got splashed because yeah, just because of bad timing, but totally not their fault, but yeah, they did park us in like a nice spot so we were able to see as much of the fireworks as we could.
That is so cool.
It was cool. Wouldn't recommend it. Wouldn't recommend trying to do that. It's not a great view because
Yeah,
it's
there's
so
so
many
many trees,
trees.
yeah.
Yeah,
But that's
but it
still a
was
cool
it
experience.
yeah, it
If
was
we were to get
definitely a
stuck on a
unique
ride, at least
experience.
be able to see the fireworks.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so my last little section is seats that you pay for.
Oh, yeah.
So,
There's always those.
starting with the Tomorrowland Terrace, you can do a dining experience there. It's I want to say around $90 a person. You have an area. I've never done this experience. It's something that I would like to do in the future. But from my understanding, you're able to kind of check into your table like around 6 and you have your table for the rest of the evening. You're able to go and get snacks and drinks and hang out there. And then you have a seat outside. Um, hanging off of the not hanging off, but along the outskirts of the Tomorrowland Terrace, and you get to sit there and watch the fireworks.
That sounds so cool. It would almost be cooler to be dangling off, would you say? You're just hanging off.
Yes.
That's
Another
cool.
similar experience that we just got to do. If you haven't listened to our last episode, go check that out. But you can do the Phantasmic Premiere dining experience. So if you're looking for this like on the Disneyland app, it is only one showtime. It's at 7:15 and it should be separate from the rest of the River Bells dining experiences, but the way it works is you get to check in at the River Bell around 7 and you're able to have a three-course dining experience and come and go from your table as you please. You get to watch Phantasmic as well as the fireworks show. It's not the best view of the fireworks because of the trees, and I'm imagining where you're sitting in Riverbell Terrace for that experience. Your view is going to vary, but it was an excellent view of the water projections for
Yeah,
the show.
it was. Mhm. I don't think I really looked at the fireworks, but I was dancing to the music and looking at the projections.
Yeah.
Us and, those 2 little kids that were off on the far
Yeah,
left.
there were these two little girls that were wearing matching outfits, having the best time because everyone else had left
Yeah,
after Fantasmic was over, and so they had like this whole area just to dance to themselves, and they were adorable and having so much fun. And we were dancing
yeah.
with them.
Honestly, could be a really good situation for families with younger kids that, like, aren't gonna wanna, like, stand in one spot and maybe need space to, like, roam a little bit, like, in a confined area. Would be there is a price that comes with it, but I don't know, I think that paying for convenience sometimes, you know?
Yes, and I mean, if your kids are young enough to where they didn't need a ticket to go in, then they also wouldn't need a ticket for this dining experience. So it could potentially just be you and whoever else
Mhm.
you're with, and your kids that are young enough to still be walking around, but not necessarily old enough for a ticket.
That makes sense.
That could be an
That's a really
option
good point.
too. Next, I have some hotel room views on and off property you
Oh,
can
what?
see fireworks from. It just depends on the hotel and like there's I want to say the Marriott's has like a specific like room that you can request to like it's called like a fireworks view room or a theme park view room. Um and as well as the Disney hotels, depending on if you're paying for a premium view room, you can, I mean, watch the fireworks from the comfort of your hotel room in your pajamas with your family. That sounds lovely as well.
That sounds so cute.
Right?
Yeah, just the idea of being bundled up with PJs and, like, watching from bed.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Sounds lovely. And then there's also some rooftop bars in Anaheim that you can check out to watch the fireworks. The two that I know of is the Fifth Rooftop Bar at the Grand Legacy,
Mhm.
and then the Rise Rooftop Bar at the Westin. We have seen multiple fireworks shows from that location, as well as the World of Color, and it's super fun, super cool. You've got heaters. They play music themed with the fireworks, so it's like you're there. And I really enjoy when we go there and watch the.
I've really enjoyed it both times.
But let us know where you like to watch the fireworks. That's what I'm really excited to hear. If you have anywhere that we didn't mention, or another spot that is just your favorite place, or if one of the places we did mention is your favorite spot, let us know because I'd really like to hear back from you guys and where your family likes to watch the fireworks.
Yeah, I'd love to hear if you have a secret spot that you like to watch from or any tips on how to make sure that you're on that ride that you like to watch from in time for the whole show.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening. We post new content every Saturday, so please follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever else you listen so you never miss an episode.
And don't forget to review and rate us 5 stars, share it with your friends, and subscribe to at Magical Happy Hour Podcast on Instagram. Megan, where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Megan Creedon and also on TikTok. Shy, what about you?
You can find me on Instagram and on TikTok at Disney Obsessed Nurse. And if you're interested in having a professional travel agent that specializes in Disney and Universal Studios plan your next vacation, you can find the link to my website in our podcast notes or email me at Cheyenne@vincentvacations.com. And we'll see you guys next week.
Cheers!
Cheers!